things have been going a little slowly. What the frick? Nope, some of you have to close out. Quit these programs. Some of you have to die! Alright, there we go. I was wondering why stuff was going a little slowly. Now I know why.
Against the current, set it out. 2015, spring break, let's go. This hit that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpiece. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot damn. Call the police and a fireman. I'm too hot damn. Nigga trying to me time, man. I'm too hot damn. Say my name, know who I am. Too hot damn. And my bad mouth, that might break down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night, we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey! Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Don't believe me, just watch.
Oh dear.
Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip.
Either gonna be a fantastic item or a disgusting one.
Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we're gonna show out. Smoother than a fresh shot skippy. I'm too hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot damn. Like a dragon water, it's Siren Man. I'm too hot damn. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot damn. And my bad mouth, that might break down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night, we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me,
I
just
think we're still waiting for someone, so you
Don't
could.
believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 yeah! Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Sing it, dance, jump on it. If you sexy, then flaunt it. If you freaky, then own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you're sexy, then flaunt it. When it's Saturday night, we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Ow! Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 yeah! Uptown, funk you up. 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 I said uptown, funk you up.
Just want to check something.
Been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. Damn, who knew all the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'm still right here talking to you
Well, 20, please.
about
Oh my god, okay.
no, we
You're gonna be like that? Fine. Refresh. Thank God. Pending.
Without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. And what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond. And that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes,
Okay, just so I'm aware. Is everyone back, or is there still a couple people missing?
I'm here.
Yep.
2, 3. Slon, you said he was AFK, so we'll start to wait.
everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. Let the light guide your way.
Just a couple seconds to balance out this thing. Hopefully.
Okay, I'm back from that.
64 sounds about right. There we go.
Been a long day.
It's actually 61. That was close. Good job. I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. 1 second, let me get OBS up so I can record my stuff.
From where we began, oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Okay. That's a good start to my
That-
recording.
It's a pixie jump out of it. All of a sudden in the background we hear, no, fuck, I jumped out of it.
Hey guys.
Ah.
It's a healthy game.
Yeah, if you want fucking concussions from slamming your face into
Driving
your
in this
keyboard.
like driving a new Maserati down a dead end
Sounds like League.
street.
Yep.
League.
Faster than the wind.
Alrighty, I think we can just jump right in because this anxiety is not gonna go away. So it's just gonna continue until I just keep going.
I know that Bareth put in chat that he was AFK. I don't know if he's back.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep, well, it's all set and everything's working out, and I'm suffering that early session anxiety, but it's fine. We'll muster through it.
Did you get your whiskey, Jack? What was it?
Oh, I'm gonna try without it this time and see what happens. If there's complete silence, it means I've passed out and or have died. But that's another bridge that we'll
Famous
cross.
last words.
We'll cross it when we come to it, or we don't. In which case, it's my roommate's problem to deal with. But no, you guys,
I can always hop into the other chat and go faint, go punch him.
please don't.
All we hear is ah.
Oh, that'll really stop moving.
Punch him in the spleen, please.
Please don't. But anyways, digressing from that, inflicting pain
Can you
upon your
digress from
DM,
that?
that's wise. It has been 18 very, very nerve-wracking months since the first encounter. you have been waiting for an attack that has seemingly never came. But over that course of time, the guilds have kind of formed a type of coalition and have since built a building.
Mic off.
Guild hall that is meant
Mic
to
on.
encompass members from different guilds as sort of a alliance building. You all are currently, per the request of each of your guilds, or maybe your own curiosities, are stationed here. In this time, you've learned that certain guilds have taken a stance of neutrality, much like the Azorius Senate seems to have kind of assist, but are very much not involved as much as the Boros Legion or the Gruul, in terms of being more frontliners for scout exploratory, having more knowledge of that area. The Selesnya Conclave has been doing pretty good about repairing city upkeep for whatever damage there might have been in that area. The Izzet and Simic guilds kind of work as scientists to create defenses or offenses for whenever this next attack may come. But as I said, you're all currently in this lavish looking, actually, guild hall. What would you all like to do in this time?
First, I would like to know a little bit of backstory here. Are we at the start of the meeting? Are we in the middle, or what has been said? Or are we at the end of it?
I'm sorry, repeat. Your thing cut out for me for a second.
Oh, sorry. So in this meeting, is this towards the beginning of the meeting, or the middle of the meeting, or the end of the meeting for, like, on, or what hasn't gone on, or have they came to any kind of decision? What's the conclave thing looking to do, or the meeting? Is there any background on that? I guess is my best.
Okay. The conclave's stance is to kind of build more of a defense for Ravnica, and this coalition is also helpful in getting supplies to assist with that. Certain guilds have different materials that you wouldn't have access to, and vice versa. Some guilds have other knowledge, so it's kind of like a sharing of knowledge to ensure better security, if that makes sense.
Have any more details or clarification or whatever come out since our last encounter about the people that were coming in?
I would say a little bit has come in since then. The Azorius Senate, as much as they're not taking an active role, they have been pretty good at being librarians and researchers in historical records. They found that the ancients were a part of Ravnica at one point, many generations ago, but were henceforth exiled by the entire city for some sort of overstep that is not been reached or really figured out.
Were they part of the city before the Guild Pact, or since?
Before.
Okay.
We sent any kind of scouts or anything to check the way they came, the direction they were coming from, to see if we can find anything?
There have been a few, and most of them have come back empty-handed. The few that have come back with subtle clues are just they came from, they know a general direction, but whenever they go backwards to try and retrace steps, they end up hitting a dead end. They can't really find anything further from that.
Check to see if any other parts of the city were attacked or broken into during this time.
There were a couple other places that were attacked, but where you guys were is where it sustained the most damage.
Were any prisoners or anything taken when at any time?
There were a few dozen that were taken in that time, and each one has been very dedicated to the cause and not speaking.
Were there any members of the guilds that were taken hostage by the other side?
Not to any of your knowledge.
So the surface thoughts that I was able to pull previously and give to my guild, were they able to kind of determine any extra information from?
They were able to. Hold on. They were able to determine a little bit about it, but it seems it's more
More the same, kind of a
grudge towards the city as a whole, not so much a one directed group or another.
Okay, and now are we actually in like a meeting or a conference kind of thing, or is this almost like a sort of like a tavern where people just kind of come to meet and
Think of it as like a tavern, but think of it as a like high middle tier tavern.
Was it like an informal meeting?
Yeah, I would
Remember
say.
that scene in Lord of the Rings where they create the Fellowship? That's what I'm picturing. No, literally, it's you have everyone discussing about one's other.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if they built a whole new structure for it, it sounds more like it's several groups talking, not like one big meeting.
Yeah, it's several groups talking, and I mean, you're part of one of those several groups. All of you have your own participants, but there's obviously, like, there's conversation between, obviously, the two science-based guilds, Izzet and Simic, but there's also conversations between, like, Selesnya and Izzet, like, that type of thing. Like, it's a mishmash of stuff. And depending on what conversations you hear where, you'll hear different conversations based upon viewpoints and the approach to how they want to deal with this threat that everyone is so on edge about.
And you said that there were like scouting groups that were sent out, and they kind of, it sounds like essentially like they were following the trails and they just disappeared kind of thing. The trails themselves.
Yeah, the trails themselves seemed to have no real point of discernible origin that they could track.
Okay.
But you guys are free to explore this tavern, as it would be, and do as you may.
How big is the tavern?
It can hold up to 40 people. It's pretty big.
Mic off.
Talking about 40 with
Mic on.
plenty of room and everything. Like it's not crowded or anything with 40 people, right?
Yep.
40 regular people or 40 like...
40 average people.
I
Not
was
40
gonna say-
barbarians.
Hey now, I'm bigger than that.
40
Yeah, like not
elephants.
40 elephants.
40 less.
Yeah,
It
how does he
might
fit
be-
in here?
I mean, Mogus and Texas are pretty big, so I mean, you're actually kind of like hunched a little bit. It is a little uncomfortable. It's built more for like the human elven type of height.
Like me?
6 foot.
Yeah.
No,
it's
I'm
not-
just like sitting down, like watching, like what the hell?
So I'd like to see if anybody knows more about like. Well, I think you probably already answered this, but knows more about like what they found. Like, did the paths like just disappear? Did they kind of just seem like they dispersed? Did it seem like they were like swept away?
Oh wow, he's been gone forever. But anyways, the
I think kind of what I'm going to add on to what Panache is saying here is, does it look like any kind of magic was used to wipe the trail?
Or teleport, or you know,
Cause some sort of like rift in space time.
why don't you're listening for that, right?
yeah, I'm trying to ask around, see if anybody knows more details about it.
Yeah, you can make a perception check to see if you can overhear anyone talking about that. Alright. You do hear a researcher from the Azoria Senate who's staying here. She acts as more or less as the de facto leader of this establishment, just to keep everything under control, because the Azorius are pretty aware that some of these groups are prone to being troublesome, and they're not about to let part of their bank account just get trashed again. But
I'll have a drink then.
but you, there is a woman, darkish colored hair with blue robes and vestments. You overhear her talk about the potential of there being a teleport spell on a large scale. Her only reasoning is an army that size should not have been able to just randomly appear. That's her theory anyways.
And she was saying this to somebody else.
Yeah, she's talking to actually another Azorius member. You've ran into him a couple of times over the course of the month. He's more of a less of the political type, surprisingly, but he is one of the Azorius senators. He's a little bit on the younger scale.
I'd like to step towards them and ask, so if there was some kind of teleportation used, is there a way to kind of sense where that led to?
The man turns to you. Yeah, we've been thinking about that, and there might be a group that can track them potentially. We don't have the means for it, but they might have the items to do so, or at least the resources.
A group, like one of the guilds?
Yeah, one of the guilds that has declared so far a neutral stance.
Who would that be?
The woman kind of scoffs, and therein lies the problem. Because to get a favor from them usually requires a trade of some kind. How familiar are you with the Syndicate?
Orzhov?
Yeah.
Uh, I understand that they're not always the best to deal.
No, no, they are not.
Has anybody contacted them to find out what they would want for something like that?
We've been playing with the idea around at the Senate, but to ask to track a high tier magic spell likely requires a high price.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to go into debt with the Orzhov.
No.
And no other guilds seem to have any of that type of magic.
Well, as far as we're aware, we can't get any contact with anyone in the underground, and I don't really feel like playing with Rakdos whatsoever.
Yeah, and they seem a bit too brutish to have that kind of magic in.
Right now, Orzhov seems to be our only fallback to gain any headway, but it is not a decision I can make lightly.
I happened to walk up at this time or overhear this, and so I butt in. You brought it up to the others? To the other guilds or anything?
Not yet. We have just now, I'm pretty sure.
To get some kind of consensus, and maybe with all of us pitching in or all of them assisting, we can find something out, do something, protect ourselves somehow.
Well, as much as I don't like it, we are running short on options, so
And if they can bring an army in that quickly, who knows what side they'll attack from next.
So then, here's my proposal. Albeit a foolhardy one at that, for the time being. If some of you would be brave enough, and hopefully I can find some people within the Senate that would be willing as well, but perhaps going to the Church of Deals and, at the very least, inquiring about said magical means. If any of you are willing, of course.
Bareth lets out a big sigh, obviously not wanting to deal with the Orzhov very much, but yeah, I'll go and see what I can find.
I suggest you bring some people you trust.
Look at him and I'll be like, I'll help you as well. The safety of all comes before my own.
It'd be good to have you. I know you saved me in the attack on the city.
As I said, we just got to protect each other. If we work together, we can overcome it all.
Well then.
You know anybody else that may be willing to help?
Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out. I'll just kind of turn to the rest of the room and say, a group of us are going to seek information with the Orzov. It's not the most enjoyable group to go with, unless I don't say that part if there's actually Orzov people here.
No Orzov people here. As they have taken a stance of neutrality, they are currently not welcome within these premises.
Then, if we can find several people just to try and make sure that we can get the information we need, it would definitely be good to go with.
Jamian steps up and says, I'll go.
Bogus stands up and says, better than sitting here drinking.
So yeah, I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and use it to raise my
To use it to what?
to just raise a hand in the air
Okay.
while I'm like slouched down with my head down.
So, are you raising the mage hand, or is the mage hand lifting up your hand to hold it up?
No, the Mage Hand is just going up in the air and it's like giving you a thumbs up kind of thing. After.
Okay, sounds good.
Both images are pretty freaking hilarious.
You should have gone with the one where it raises your hand up.
I agree. That would have been better.
Funnier.
Fortunately, it can't do that. That's not what it does. So it doesn't.
It'll do it. It can lift some weight. Up
can
to
lift up to 5
10
pounds.
pounds? 5 pounds? Yeah.
5 pounds, I think.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Like, if you were resisting it, it wouldn't do it.
It
But
can't. Well, let's
just picking up
pretend
your
my
limb
hand.
arm, it could do.
MMR weighs more than 10 pounds. No. Yeah, I mean,
If you're
you can think of it either way, but that.
All right. So what time of day is it?
It was like I didn't want to show my face because then you might not let me come because last time. But yeah.
The time of day is currently, it's late afternoon, early evening. Sunset would be hitting in a couple hours.
I know I don't necessarily have a lot of information about the Orzov, but would I know if they were tended to be like more like amicable or better to deal with at a certain time?
Really depends on who you end up meeting though, but you're aware that
Was going to be my question is, does anybody, and this is asking the group, does anybody know of a contact within the group?
I do not.
Well, that we can talk to that may be more amicable to us. I mean, Mogus.
I mean, at this point, I'm probably walking over there. So do I hear this question? If
Yes.
I do, can I roll to see?
yeah, I mean, you could all roll a history check to see if you know anyone.
I don't know anything.
I guess I was not
So-
right. I might know someone.
Just give me another of those days.
You do not.
Go for it.
No, you don't need to roll. You
got
Oh, jeez, there's a 17 there.
Yeah, you don't need
seven,
to roll.
seven.
There is actually no reason anyone in the group would have to roll a history for that, so you're fine.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So it sounds like we none of us know anybody.
No, you do not.
Okay. Then I think about how long will it take us to get there?
Hold on a second. It'll take you to get from one district to the other. It's gonna take you the better part of a couple hours.
I think honestly we should probably go in the morning.
That's what I would say.
I don't relish the idea of dealing with the Orzov in the evening, or
Time
rather
is never a
at
good
night.
time for things you don't understand.
So yeah, I propose we all go to our respective quarters or whatever, meet back here in the morning, like just after daybreak, and head down there.
Friday works for me.
Right. So you guys all are going to, I would imagine, at the prospect of what you're about to do, find a night's rest slightly uneasily. But is there anything before going to that night's rest that any of you would like to do?
I don't have anything in particular I would be looking to do.
Me neither.
Alright.
We just go and pray for a little bit before bed.
Alright.
I don't
And-
sleep, though. I'm just gonna like stay up for a bit and walk.
That's right, you trance. Alright, then as
Most
you
my character would
rest,
do is probably drink some more.
just a question, how much are you putting down?
Not enough to get smashed.
Okay.
I really don't want to deal with them sober or drunk, but it's easier sober. Even I.
Alright, yeah, you all find your night's rest, and eventually daybreak rolls around, and the early morning dawn starts peering through your windows to your rooms.
All right, then I'll
Jesus,
head down to the meeting hall or whatever.
Alright,
I shall be right back.
alright. You all head down to the meeting hall, and I imagine all your compatriots are there, unless anyone's wanting to do something before going to that place.
Nope.
All right, if everybody gets here, then I'll start heading towards the Orzhov pit.
I hold your hand and walk and skip. No, I'm just kidding.
Aren't you like 8 feet tall?
8'2", thank you very much.
You'd just be
You're gonna be
grabbing his head, kind of, and just walking.
Just drag him along the cobblestone.
One hop is like 15 steps for him.
People, you're gonna be hopping along. People are gonna think they're attacking it.
Alright, it's like just roll 1d12 really quick. Alright. The way the morning works in certain market districts and morning crowds work, instead of a couple hours, it does take you an extra hour to get there with just the various crowds and stuff going through. But you do eventually make it to a very ornately decorated cathedral hall, but it has this cold chill around it, like the temperature almost drops when you start entering around its vicinity.
All right, I'll if this is the building we needed to go to, then I'll start heading towards the entrance. I'll be kind of on the lookout to make sure I don't like cross a threshold without doing some kind of bow or something. Like if I see some people doing a certain ritual as they cross a door.
Currently, there really isn't anyone here, except there are a couple of people kind of at either end of the entrance with kind of cloaked figures, and they kind of turn their cloaked heads towards you and kind of just offer a welcome and slowly push the doors open.
All right, then I just continue in.
So, out of character here. Does anybody where we are supposed to go, or what? Like, I know we're coming to talk to them, but is there a certain ever something that we're supposed to be going to, or is there a desk clerk? I mean, what's going to be happening?
Desk clerk.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
The Orzhov are essentially the
Reception
mafia,
desks.
so we're just gonna
You wouldn't
basically
be able to walk
go
in. I'm sorry, but
They're still open. They're like loan shark mafia, so they'll let us in, and we just have to make sure not to owe them anything. So yeah, there's gonna likely be some kind of priest here, or a ghost, or somebody here that we can talk to, and they'll probably point us in the right.
There is a man here who appears to have almost a gold olive tinge to his skin, kind of sunken yellow eyes, and messy hair. Greetings, how may we help you today?
We come seeking information about. We are trying to find what it would take to get assistance in finding information about the attack that happened.
Well, the attack months ago, that was somewhat tragic. But as part of it, we've offered protection and shelter should it happen again. We'd be happy to extend that invitation to you as well.
Well, specifically, what we're hoping to find is we've heard that there may be somebody within your organization that would possibly be able to find out where that army went to. And we're trying to see about possibly getting that information.
You want to know about particular magic tracking? Is that the understanding?
That's correct.
Well, I regret to inform you I do not have that authority to grant you that information. However, well, a couple of you wish to follow me, I can bring you to someone who does have that authority.
All right, I'd be happy
Appreciate it,
to
thank you.
follow you.
Alright. As you continue deeper on, it almost feels like he leads you and he kind of pushes some of, like, leads you through these corridors, and eventually you start realizing you're going down a little bit. And the temperature just, the more you go down, like, you're pretty sure you've gone down below ground level at least 2 stories now, and the temperature has dropped significantly, so probably a good 20 degrees. Well, before entering this room, it is practice and just polite to drop a coin into said area right there.
All right, I'll pull out a gold piece and drop it in.
Excellent.
Each of us need to do this, or is it one per party?
Well, one person is payment for one, so
I drop one in as well. I don't want to come in off any kind of free will.
I do as well.
Because I love my mage hand, I use my mage hand to do it.
such crude and disrespectful practice, but nevertheless, we will continue. He opens to this more, almost like a a room, and in the center is this cracked sun and half moon on the floor with a starscape across the ground. The designs on the floor seem to be almost glowing, emanating light, allowing you to see and have vision. Sitting at this throne appears to be a woman, kind of half lazily leaning against this specially designed throne-like area, carrying 6 dark wings. Well, and the man kind of turns to you. Well, this is as far as I'm permitted to listen, so you may put your requests to her.
Thank you for your help so far.
And he
Thank you very much, sir.
kindly shuffles himself out of the room, and you hear the doors behind you.
So I'll take a step forward and kind of bow my head a little bit and
Imitate it.
A cold, kind of calculating voice is replied from this woman in response to your gestures. That is quite a bit of respect. I don't see that often anymore. I imagine if you're here, it is for something rather expensive.
I'm suspecting that may be the case. We have heard that among your ranks, possibly you, that somebody is able to, or has magics that can possibly track the army that had attacked several months ago.
We do have that capability, yes.
So that is why we were here. We are hoping to see what it would require to obtain those services, to find out where that army came from or what.
Inquiring about price.
That is correct.
She looks over to Jamian and Mogus, and then her gaze shifts back to Berith and Taxus. I must say, I am impressed. Those two come from a guild that is not known for silence.
You loudmouth people.
Perhaps the grandeur of your buildings has them awestruck. I'm not sure. They do
Perhaps it
tend to be
does.
louder at other times.
Perhaps that is true. But, as we said before, we are here to discuss price. So, specifically, what do you need?
We'd like to know where the army went to, so that we can find. Yeah, we would like to know where the army went to after the.
Well, if you have something personal of them, I could potentially locate them here and now. If not, then there are other means of the syndicate locating them.
I look around. I don't believe we have anything that was gathered from that. I look around to the other party, saying that to make sure if anybody else had something.
Oh.
I don't believe so, but I know we still haven't gotten what it would cost us to do this.
Well, I'd say the price for such a hefty task is rather cheap. If you're willing.
This is all based on perspective, so what is this perspective of cheap that you have?
A simple favor.
Any
What will be-
favor in particular?
Well, an indebted favor. It does not have to be called upon now. Just exchange for one service for a favor at a later date.
I don't know about my comrades, but I will accept that term.
I would like to know, would this favor include me alone, or would it include stuff from the guild?
You are the one inquiring. It would not be your guild's responsibility. It would be your own.
Because it has nothing to do with them, I will accept as well.
I assume we all need to accept.
Yeah.
Don't have to.
I decline this madness. No, I accept it.
Just out of respect, I do the mage hand thumbs up.
Dang it!
And you? What of your cruel compatriot? He has been...
I already said very well.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's my bad.
I didn't hear it either.
I think it didn't pick
It
up.
was
I
mixed
like,
in there.
I was just like, very well.
Okay. Well then. It's settled. She snaps her fingers very quickly and a brand of sorts, a tattooed mark, appears on the back of... It depends. It'll either appear on the back of your palm or on your shoulder or like on your chest or something. But there is now a syndicate mark that has appeared on each of your persons.
Did we feel it?
It felt like it burned a little bit.
Look at it and then look up at them and ask, will this go away when our debt has been paid?
Absolutely. This is also insurance, so you don't back out.
I understand
Does
and respect it.
Just out of curiosity, is that more of a magic? And if it is, can I try and roll
Why?
a check to see if I know?
Yeah, you could. Like, what kind of magic it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, go ahead. You can roll me an Arcana check. You know exactly what kind of magic this is, and you also know what spell is ingrained into this symbol.
When he counts, huh?
Yep. The spell that is ingrained into it is a modified version of Power Word Kill.
The power word.
Yes.
Okay. How dangerous is that if we don't live up to a debt, or is there a time? Like, how does it work?
Power Word Kill is in the player's handbook. It is written as you may point at a target, and if it has 100 or fewer hit points, it dies immediately. This is a modified version, meaning they don't have to see you. It's locked into your debt. So if you back out on your debt.
Okay, thanks.
Like I said, Mafia.
But you promised to keep your end of the deal, so I believe it's only fair that I keep mine.
Indeed.
She stands up and her eyes roll back into her head and she focuses and speaks in a language you are not familiar with at all. Clasps her hands and then opens them up again to create this kind of ethereal bluish white orb. And it is looking at that army. Well, you wanted to know where they are. Here they are.
Does this... Okay, how big is this orb?
It's about a foot in diameter.
Do we recognize the area they're in?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I roll, like, I don't know, would that be insight or something? I don't know.
You could roll a nature check.
Alright.
I'll roll mine.
Damn. Jesus, that's with the -1. Anyways, you are able to
It's a plus
discern.
-1 for your intelligence, +2 for your proficiency.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
It tells you how I got it.
Right. Anyways, you are familiar with this location. It is, in fact, this area that you're looking at. It's within the city of Ravnica, but it's distorted. Things are slightly cracked, and colors are in weird spectrums. Where it's white, it's black, and where it's blue, it's red, and there's just these weird mishmash of colors that make absolutely no sense to you. But you are without a doubt sure this is somewhere within Ravnica, perhaps not even on this plane of existence.
So I will ask her, because she said here they are, so I'm going to ask her, and where is this place that you're showing us?
It is the city of Ravnica, or rather a overlap of it.
How is it that they would have gotten there, or gotten here?
I am extremely old, but even I am not that old.
I wonder if there's any chance I would know more based on... Okay, maybe not.
You're welcome to roll to see.
You said it was nature, or would this be something else now?
For you, it.
I think it would be intelligence? No.
Yeah, yours would be a history, not a nature.
Okay.
You've read about this in the league. It's scattered notes, and it's mostly theory more than anything right now. But the theory of that Ravnica was once 10 times as large as it is now, but a certain magical divergence, we'll say, created different rifts and has put different layers of Ravnica upon different planes of existence. These ancients appear to be in one such plane.
And I don't think I would have any idea like how that would happen, right? Because I would assume it could be magic, but I don't know that.
Yeah, you're not exactly sure how.
Did I ask if it's possible if they have a planeswalker assisting them?
It is possible. But
Okay, so from the background, I asked the person you guys are talking to, do you know of somebody who can explain?
do they? That's a good question. Fuck no, that's the answer. No, she kind of shakes her head. Though you're not entirely sure even if they knew if the answer is entirely truthful or not. She's been very good about being shifty with her conversation.
Alright, I think this is probably as much information as we can get here. Unless anybody else has any questions.
Well, you said there we don't know how truthful she's being with us, correct?
The way she's been wording her sentences, I'm sure all of you are just a little uneased by that.
Okay, I was gonna say I wonder if I could use deception to try and persuade into telling me if there's any actually more information.
Depends on how you're gonna phrase it.
Basically, I'm gonna try and say that
You have to come up with the wording kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to come up with the wording. Depending on how it's worded, it's either going to be persuasion or deception.
one is great, one is not. I mean, okay. So what I would say is there, say for example, I want to learn this type of spell or magic or whatever you think this is. Do you think you might be able to point me in the direction of someone who could teach me?
There are plenty here who could teach you.
More specifically, to planes of existence?
I am capable of doing similar tasks, though those higher than me might have better luck teaching you.
Who by chance?
Serventhris Cole. She is a very gifted spellcaster. Not as long-lived as I, but truly more gifted.
Okay. Do I have a? Can I check to see if I have any idea that?
Yeah, you could do a...
I'm trying to think of what that would be good to. Insight?
If you're trying to determine if this is truthful or what.
More of if I know who that person is.
That'd be
like,
a history.
have I heard?
That'd be
Okay.
a history.
And if I want to turn the person's line?
That'd be an insight.
I don't think they're lying, but yeah. So you said history. I have no idea who this person is.
There's a lot of people within the syndicate you're sure that you've never heard of, and maybe for good reason.
Okay, so I say thank you very much. Pretty much it. And then I turn around to the rest of them and I give them this name of Serventress Cole, hoping maybe one of them has idea.
Mogus and Jamian and Taxus have no reason to roll any form of history or anything. Berith can if he wants, but he doesn't have to. That's up to him. Yeah, you don't know shit.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
I think we covered everything.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I do another bow and start to head towards the exit.
I look forward to our future business endeavors. Until then, good day.
I think we made a deal with the devil.
All right. So once we're outside, I'm gonna suggest to the group. Now that we know that they're kind of in a shifted reality, maybe one of our guilds might be able to have, or one of the guilds might have information on how to get.
Thank you, Sassy Presley, for following me on Twitch.
Do you have any idea what guild?
I doubt my guild will know.
I would say I am not sure. I would say the best option, in my opinion, at this point, would be to head back to the meeting hall and see what we can find out, or basically kind of report this and see if anybody has any connections or information there.
I agree.
I need to find out who Serventress Cole is.
My concern with that, and that's definitely something that we should remember, but I'm just concerned with, since it's another person in the Orzhov Syndicate, having to make yet another deal to get that additional information.
We'll use sheer force.
Orzhov don't typically respond to that.
For your mark blows up and you're dead.
And there is that.
I think it will work.
Well,
Let's
then
just
would you like? Go
let's
ahead,
just put it
Tex.
to the side for now. We can always come back to this. Because that's an option doesn't mean it has to be our first option. You can still try and find out more about him and everything. Just don't go up to him until.
Plus, as well as at the meeting hall, they might have more information about this individual as well.
Alright.
All right, unless I hear any objections, I'm gonna start heading back to the meeting.
Alright. You all begin heading back to the meeting hall. The crowd is lessened a little bit. The marketplace is still pretty active. I'm gonna ask you now if any of you want to make a detour briefly, or otherwise we'll just continue back at the meeting hall.
I'll check around the market.
Is the meeting hall area where we are staying currently?
Currently, yes. You
Are
have
we-
you have all your quarters at your regular guilds and such, but this is a good place,
Middle ground.
where each guild can kind of meet without too much interference from another faction.
Gotcha. Okay, then I don't personally have anything I'd like to stop at the moment.
Alright. The marketplace, Mogus, is currently it's just filled with a lot of different food-based stuff right now. It's got different fruits, vegetables, breads, meats. There's some armorers and weapon vendors, but they're pretty standard. There's a brewery and a tailor, but this market is, for the most part, pretty plain.
Mostly civilian.
Yeah.
Let's go to the brewery.
Alright. The brewery is run by a balding dwarven man who appears to be missing, or at least his eyes faded out and scarred over, as if shards of glass have entered it at one point or another in his life. Yes, to who do you owe the pleasure? Snorlax, you're muted in case you didn't know.
Focus of the Gruul clan.
Well, certainly a title. We don't get a lot of your folk around here. Well, we do, but generally they don't just stop in. They usually just take wherever the fuck they want.
Not in the mood today to do that. Rather just drink.
You're the first. Any particular wine or spirit you'd like to purchase? Ale, mead. We have some types of grog here, but
I'll take some grog.
I'm gonna warn you there, friend. It's some cheap shit. It's not very good.
It'll work. Just give me a shit ton.
I'll give you a whole barrel if you give me 2 gold coins.
Fair enough.
Good, I have loom in my store for newer stuff and stuff that doesn't taste like that.
A salesman insulting his own shit.
You've been scammed.
To your face.
Anything else you need, or is that about it?
This'll be good for tonight.
Well, hopefully that'll last you the wait.
What?
Another common courtesy, friend. That you're a big man, I get that, but that will Really fuck your shit up.
What happened?
He said he could drink the entire barrel in one night.
Oh,
Challenge.
You can take it whatever you want it to be. Good luck with that, friend. I got my 2 gold. I'm gonna call it good. He goes about doing his business as you leave.
With a barrel of rock on my shoulder.
Yeah, if anyone of you are lagging behind just a tiny bit, you see Mocha stop in the brewery for a couple minutes and come out with a freaking barrel. And it's not a small barrel either, it's like a 40-gallon barrel.
Keg.
Yeah. It's big.
yeah. I kind of like look at it for like a second, and I turn around and keep. Kind of shake my head.
You have a lot of confused city folk as well.
How much would you say this barrel weighs?
I actually have math for that. 1 second. Oh, it weighs just under 200 pounds.
Holy
It's coffee and mushrooms.
bro. That's a lot.
Well, it's only going to get lighter as it walks.
God forbid he drops that. A person exploded today at the market.
But over the course of time, you do make it back to the meeting hall.
Wait, 200 pounds? Isn't he encumbered then already?
What is his strength score again?
He did say overtime.
Yep, I know. I just want. Let's just check.
17 at the moment.
He'd say he was going to drink the whole thing tonight.
Nope, he is not encumbered.
Close?
He's close. He's close. He's close by about like 20 pounds. He's close to being encumbered.
By the time we get back to town, I think it has like only like 60 pounds left.
Oh God, I would
By
hope
the
not.
time he gets back. Oh my
I would hope not, or I'm gonna have him.
I don't
make
think he's
a
going to make
con
it back
save.
if he drinks that much.
Just curious because this is important. If that's the case, is
Not
he
drinking
Okay.
that much in that short amount of time. I'm drinking it overnight.
All right. Then yeah, you do make it back to the meeting hall, and the woman. It's just a woman there this time, from the Azorius, but she kind of looks at all of you. You seem like you got what you. She stops for a second, looks at Mocas with a huge ass barrel over his shoulder. Got what you
What?
needed from the Orzov, presumably. Hopefully, nothing went
I
too
was
terribly.
thirsty.
That
Got what we
would-
needed from them as well as others. But not everything we could use.
well. Seems you
We've-
had some success. I imagine pricing wasn't too terrible then if you were able to get out relatively fast.
Yet to be decided.
It's certainly not a price that I was excited about, but we got what we were looking for. We found out. Yeah, we found out that the army is staying in like an alternate version of Ravnica.
Alternate version of it. That's interesting. Well, it certainly doesn't bring us too much closer, but it does give us an idea of where to start looking.
Was it Elrond that seemed familiar with the alternate version?
Yeah, he had a
Partially.
partial idea of what it might be.
So I don't know if he actually relayed it specifically, but I'm assuming that he might have like kind of looked like something looked familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of gestured towards him and I said, I'm not sure if he knows too much, but my comrade Elrond seems to have at least a little bit of familiarity with this extra dimension.
Well, any little bit of details that can help us give us an edge on this unseen enemy would be appreciated. Any particular details we should be looking for?
Can I just come out of nowhere and be like, "Do you know who Sir Ventress called?"
You can. No one's gonna stop you from saying that.
All right, so let's do that.
Uh, I don't know the name that well.
Well, of course I'm gonna think she's lying.
I mean, you can insight her to see if she is or not, but
Yeah, the way that was said was just not too sure. It feels like there's more to it. So you said insight, right?
yep.
Couldn't see.
She seems flustered, but she seems truthful in her flustered state.
Natural one.
Yes. Yes, that is.
Ow. Okay, thank you.
Anyways, back to the more important topic. Is there any sort of details we should be looking for? I'm going to take this silence as absolutely no idea.
Well,
As I put down my barrel.
if he doesn't know very much, perhaps at least somebody within the league might have more information. Perhaps we should talk with them and see what they.
That would be a wise decision. Advise bringing shields, body protection, and maybe some goggles.
Advice
have-
noted.
Explosive accidents here and there.
I am
Sounds
very
like fun.
familiar with those.
I cannot look away.
Well,
Yeah, we've had some explosive accidents in our days already.
As I take a chug of my grog.
it is. I don't know how familiar Mogus is with alcohol, but anyone else that would even take a smell or a taste of it is the cheapest garbage ever. Those of you who smelled it, you didn't see the exchange, but it is not even worth a copper coin.
You paid 2 gold.
Yep.
Sometimes it's quantity over quality.
It's Final
I
Fantasy
think I
14.
pay mostly for the barrel than the actual alcohol.
Investing
So
in a
is there-
future mug.
Is there a supplier here or nearby that would possibly have goggles that might help with the visit?
There might be in closer to the. I gotta look at which district that is. 1 second.
Okay. I mean,
Well, to the northeast, you could probably find goggles of some sort. They definitely work on an extremely sunny day as well.
All right. Sounds like a good place to start then. I definitely would like to head that.
what time of day is it right now?
Okay, so you went to Orzhov in the morning, changed probably to about an hour. Did they pack? It's early afternoon. Alright, so
Reach out to Barrett before he leaves, and I go, I've got to do my prayers, but if you give me an hour, I'll go with you.
Okay, I can wait.
anything
Head back
else
over.
Anyone else wants to do within that hour then, while they're doing that?
Drink.
I want to go ask the bartender. Because I'm sure, is there a bar or a place to get drinks in here?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
It's being run by a graying human man who's nigh too thrilled to be here. Seems like he's traded one noisy establishment for another.
Okay, seems like a great person to ask who's your adventure's cold.
Who?
Exactly. Well,
Like,
after that response, I kind of just like laugh and shrug and ask for.
as for what?
drink.
Oh, okay.
Want some grog?
Something on the light side.
Lighter side. Any particular spirit of choice?
No?
Alright.
I mean, I didn't actually want the drink, it was just for breaking tension, but you know.
Hey, give him some of this.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, this one's gonna be free.
Drink.
Is there any check I can do if I know I'm gonna get sick from that?
Hmm?
Will I get sick, or what's gonna happen if I drink this?
Only one way to find out, bud.
Your mage cast purified drink. I don't know. You're gonna be left with water alone.
Prestidigitation to make it taste better.
Drink.
Yeah, I just look at him in a straight face and say, after you.
Bogus, how many have you had since you sat down in this
Since you
hour?
sat down. Oh no.
Like a quarter of the barrel.
I need you to make me
He's gonna
4
punch me.
Constitution saves.
No, that's not since I sat down, but since we left.
You got it.
Yep, I know. 4 Constitution saving throws.
Yeah, because that's
Would
freaking
that be
50
unfair?
pounds of alcohol.
Didn't press that. Just Constitution.
Yep.
Constitution saving throw. It should be a little box. Should be.
Above your skills.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Okay. You met that one.
Oh, damn, these aren't that bad, though.
Alright. Met that one. Succeeded at that one.
And pass out.
You currently are definitely intoxicated, and you, until you finish your long rest, you have the poison condition. Which essentially means you'll have disadvantage on a lot of different things.
Alright.
Now then. Elvan,
Not a
are you
character
taking
catching.
a drink of that or no?
Oh, not a chance. I mean, I could probably smell that. I'm not. It's.
It smells like day-old horse piss is what it smells like.
Yeah, no. I looked at the bartender
Moonshine.
back. I'm like, I'm not.
I was gonna say, pass out as I try and hand him the barrel.
Fucking trust me.
As Mogus kind of just like slides there, finishing his here, take the.
It's more.
You hear
It'd be more like
the-
an earthquake.
it's a mini quake, and the like within the people within like 20 feet around them kind of stop and are like having this panic of like, oh god, it's happening again.
Clean up on aisle meat.
The tavern master kind of looks over at a passed out Mogus, just looks to anyone else. Y'all are cleaning that up, right?
Like the three of y'all.
I suppose.
You're given a drink that is not grog at all. You're given something. You're given like a light, like sweet and sour tasting mead.
Thank you.
Can't imagine what's in that there. Well, no, actually I can. I just don't want to.
That's it. You could try some.
No.
Can I roll persuasion?
I think you can.
You may attempt to, yeah. You're gonna have to be pretty convincing, though. What are you gonna say?
I don't know. He seemed to think it was pretty good.
One second. You absolute dumbass.
Yes! Yes!
Smells bad, but I'll try a pull from it.
Oh my god.
Well, sir, I can promise you, it's not good at all. It is repulsive. I'm sure the... Oh, okay.
Would you like another?
Would you like another?
Snoring in the background.
Trading shifts. Someone quickly takes over for him as he goes to the back, and you hear a heaving noise.
So this new person,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
you want to try what he's having?
He's a younger gentleman, but kind of like analyzing the whole situation. Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. He sounds like he's dying back there. You good? You can see like behind the door, just like this shaky thumbs up. Yeah, I'll pass.
I yell to him, "Do you need a hat?"
That shaky thumbs up. The thumb goes down, and the middle finger comes up.
As the fucking mage hand goes flying in the bathroom.
But for Taxus and Bereth, as that hour of torturing various tavern masters goes on, your rituals have finished, and you can go to the northeastern market.
All right. Then once Taxus is ready, I will start making my way towards that place.
Finish my prayers and everything, then I have to do my own personal prayer. So I go to the bathroom for a little bit, and then we head out.
Okay. Yep. Alright. The northeastern market
The wizard.
is not...
Yeah, I meet at the market.
Yeah, the northeastern market isn't near as far as where we've had to walk today. But... And it's a little bit more high-end, like there is... bookshop vendors, there's more extravagant tailors, there looks like a place that's selling things like incense candles and all that, higher tier armor and weapons, a brewery that is not in the back alley. There appears to be even like a small like arena for fights and placing bets, though it doesn't seem like it's used very often. It seems like it's pretty looked down upon here. And then there's like a general store, and really any type of store you can think of in this area, there's probably one here, or a couple.
Alright, so I'm mostly just interested in finding what the lady mentioned, the kind of goggle eyewear type.
Alright. You find them in the, just like a general items store. And
Okay. Now, before I went in, like, how bright is it right now outside?
It's pretty bright. There's a little bit of cloud cover, but not a lot.
Okay. So yeah, I want to see what kind of goggles and
Alright. There appear to be different types of goggles. One set of goggles looks like over the lenses there appears to be a shape of like a sun on each lens, and then there's another one where it's like an arcane rune is placed under the side of them, of the outer rims of them. Then there's simple ones like that look like 19th century like sunglasses.
Now, on the ones with the different symbols, do those seem to have some kind of actual impact, or are they just decorative?
They appear like they're placed differently, so you assume they might have a different impact of some sort.
Okay, I'd like to. Okay, what? First off, before I even bother finding out what they do, how much are they priced?
The one with the arcane rune upon the side is priced at 110 gold.
Okay, and and the other.
With the stun marking, it's priced at 5 gold.
Sorry, you're breaking up. How much?
75 gold.
Okay, how much are just the basic ones that they seem to have?
It's
Everyone's gonna have to pay.
yeah, cutting gold. There we go.
There we go.
Alrighty. So that wasn't just me, that was everybody?
Yeah,
That was
Discord had a
everybody.
little bit of a shit. But anyways, those standard based sunglasses are only priced at, depending on the lens color, anywhere from 5 to 15 gold.
Okay, if there are some that are darkened, I'd like to uh, put them on and look outside and see if I notice it feeling.
Right. There's one that's like it has a greenish tint. There's one that has like a sepia based tint, and the other one is like the lens at least looks kind of like this transparent obsidian color. You'll find that the one with the darker color is the most impactful and is the most comfortable for you.
Do you have any that fit me?
There are a couple, yeah. They're priced a little higher though.
And what do they run?
For you, raise it's about anywhere from 15 to 30 gold. Right.
All right. So okay, I would like to go ahead and get those obsidian colored ones.
All right, those ones are priced at 10 gold pieces.
All right. Done. I will do that.
All right. The vendor is a elven man who is missing a leg and has been replaced with a prosthetic as he kind of limps over to his area of business. Oh, I must say, not many people buy these. It's a rare occurrence, to say the least.
Yeah, I understand that they're a good thing to have when going to visit the. Is it?
Taps his leg. Yep. Shields are a good thing too.
One of those.
Uh, just don't stand too close to any of the members there, and you should be fine for the most part, I would think.
All right. I appreciate the input suggestion. All right. Is Taxus finished with his business as well?
I've decided not to go with anything.
Oh, okay.
Alright, then.
All right. Now, did anybody else come with us?
No, I didn't go.
No. No, they were too busy fucking with the tavern master.
Or being passed the fuck out.
All right. All right. And roughly what time of day is it?
For you guys, it's 4 in the afternoon now.
All right, Texas. I don't know if we're gonna make much headway without Elrond, but would you like to, if we have time, can get there before it gets too late? Would you like to try and visit it and see what we can find out?
I think we can, but I would really prefer if we had Elrond with us, even though he's kind of
All right. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And it's getting kind of later in the afternoon. So, do you want to just head back and we can come out with him?
but I still think we need to let him know that we're going to, otherwise we may not see him tomorrow.
Valid point. All right. Then it sounds like we're gonna head back to the meeting hall then for the day.
All right. As you are heading back, in the midst of Jamie taking a breather from a snoring Mogus and a probably mage-handing tomfoolery Elrond.
At least you know where his hand's been, everywhere.
Only my mage one.
Ugh.
Only one that matters.
The best is I do when I go to the bathroom. And it don't wash.
Jesus. Anyways, as Jamie is taking his break, like probably just taking a few minutes of breathing through, just to get away from all that crowd. Your room that you went to is currently slightly open.
My room?
Yep, it's currently slightly open. It's like ajar. It's like it's been unlocked.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna go look in there, see if anything's missing or anything.
Nothing's missing, but there is a man currently just kind of sitting at the desk, that table that's been put in there, kind of just perusing through your shit.
I like knock on the door twice. I'm like, sir?
Oh, yes. I forgot. You, my apologies. I make it my business to know who I'm dealing with.
Yeah, and who am I dealing with?
Sir Demarapolis, I am an enforcer for the Orzhov Syndicate.
Can you say that name again?
I'll do you one better. So, you're part of the little parade that marched into the Church of the Eels earlier today, yes?
Yep.
Well, I would like to extend some form of invitation to you specifically to fulfill your favor.
Okay. What is this invitation to?
It's nothing too serious, just keep an eye on the Azorius High Enchantress that they have, she is somewhat problematic and likes to do things her own way. Just ensure that she doesn't take such an active role in the Senate anymore.
Okay.
Simple enough. And that will, of course, cover your debt.
All right.
But, in addition to that, any additional information from the Senate that you can gather would be grateful if you would pass it along. And he hands you a small little black ledger with ink and quill with it.
Okay.
The ink is, of course, untraceable. You won't be able to. It will not leave a mark that it's been written. But we'll know. Whatever you report, we will get.
All right.
And as long as you continue to do so for a couple of weeks, your debt is filled. Your debt, specifically.
Yeah.
Well then, I think I've done my part here, so I will be on my way. And he kind of gets up and makes walk past you.
All right.
Alright. From that point, Jamie, you can do whatever you need to.
I'll go back and check on Mogus.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna roll a d4 for Mogus. Give me a second here. 1 second. He's gonna be unconscious for another 2 hours. In the meantime,
I wish I was only down that long.
For the record, I poked him with my mage hand at least once.
of course,
To the barrel.
Do the drinking game where you draw a penis on his forehead.
Roll performance.
That may or may not result in a rage when he awakens.
No.
So, in that time, though, is Elran doing anything besides trolling the general vicinity?
So we're in this bar area now. Is there, if I look around, is there anyone that sticks out in the room?
There is a, hold on, let me look for the description here. There is a woman who kinda sticks out with, silver black hair and, like, crimson and black leather wares with around her, like, there appears to be 3 or 4 throwing knives, kinda just flipping them around and kind of just observing everyone.
Okay, let's go slowly walk towards that person, but not engage right away. Kind of sit in a chair or something near the.
Okay.
Kind of snoop.
Alright. As far as you can tell, she's just people watching right now.
That's it?
Yep, she seems to just be people watching, rapidly darting back and forth between certain targets of interest that seem to capture her attention, and then Once they disappear or appear to be too boring, the focus changes to someone else that might be of interest to her. It glazed over you briefly, and then you kind of saw it in her eyes go, nah, and then just keep going.
Damn. Okay, mage hand. Nah, I think I'm just gonna sit and mark for a bit, see what else is going on. Eventually, I'm probably gonna go meditate.
Right. Yeah. After a while, the woman appears to get bored and just leaves. So, I'm guessing you're just going up to your room then after that, or?
Yeah, I'll go head to my room.
Alright. Sitting... Well, upon entering your room, there appears to be a person, with very, very, dark robes, pale skin, and almost like, shadows, kind of like a shadowy mist kind of is flowing off him as he's just watching you enter.
Okay. That'd be, what kind of check can I do for that? Would it be a history? See if I recognize the person or what's going.
You do not recognize this person at all.
Okay, so as I walk in, I just glance and just stare for. And then I say, hello.
I find it rather impressive that they built this in such a short amount of time.
You're welcome.
I beg your pardon.
Built what in such a short time?
This establishment, it's incredible.
It is. It is. Now may I ask, who are?
I am Judicator Xavier Drone. No, I'm overseer to, well, I've been assigned to oversee you, apparently.
Me?
Yes.
What about me?
Well, not so much you, but you do have a debt that we would like to
Can we discuss this later? I'm kind of tired. What I meant was, yes, continue.
That's better. We don't require any sort of messy jobs. It's certainly beneath your capabilities. Well, maybe not. But you are, as above anything else, you are an inventor and a researcher. But we like to capitalize on your ability to do research more than anything.
Okay, I'm listening.
We understand you have some direct contact with those within the Boros Legion, yes.
Yes.
He takes a red-colored thin ledger with an ink and quill. We don't require much, just here and there a little bit of reports of what you learn about them and things that might be of interest to us.
What kind of things?
Certain their movements, their political stances, their intentions for the future.
Understood. I agree. Or I accept. Sorry.
Perfect. Well then, I believe our business is concluded.
Okay, so I take the mage hand and I go give him a high five.
He walks right past it.
Ouch. I have the mage hand open the door for him. I hope that weighs in 10 pounds, right? Maybe. Regardless. Or it tries really hard and it's not able.
I would say you're pulling it, and it doesn't take 10 pounds of pressure to open the door, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He-
So yeah, I
That's
just open.
literally listed in the description of one of the things it can do.
He walks out and snaps his finger and your door slams shut.
He snaps his fingers. Now, do I have any kind of check to know like what kind, where is like what kind of mage he is or something? Like what kind of
No, you wouldn't really know what kind of mage he is, but just based upon the spell he is, you have a pretty good speculation of what he might be. He is probably a cleric of some kind.
Okay, so yeah, then I go to Medsi.
After probably 25-ish minutes, Taxus and Berith return to the establishment. To a very passed out Mogus. And Elrond is nowhere to be seen right now, assumingly probably in his quarters, as well as Jamian.
If he doesn't blow the place up.
And then there's the two of you, so what do you wish to do in this time?
Is it early evening or what? Roughly what time is it now?
It's probably around 5.
Then
5 p.m. evening.
I'll probably just find a kind of a comfortable place in the corner and pull out my flute and start to play and kind of just listen to the conversations and that.
You do that, I'd let you know. I was like, I'm gonna go find Elrond and let him know that we'd like to meet up in the morning.
Alright. Oh, and would you be in the process of going into your meditations, or
What time was it anyway?
5 p.m.?
No, then I'm just sitting in there at that.
Alright. Anywhere you're storing the ledger
I'm kind
in
of
particular?
contemplating.
Currently, for Jamian and Elran, your ledgers are on your desk areas in your room. If there's any particular spot you want, or if you're just gonna leave it there.
Well, I mean, I plan on keeping it with me.
Yeah, same.
Alright.
Knock, knock.
You hear a knock at your door, Elran.
I know it's gonna make him do it again.
Knock, knock, knock.
I come to the door and I say hello.
I just let you know that we'd like to go and speak with the Izits tomorrow. We're hoping that you could show us around.
I think that's fine.
Take me back here shortly after sunrise.
Okay.
Alrighty, then I will see you in the morning. You have a good night.
Okay, I can't
Thank
hear
you for your
nothing.
help.
Really?
Yeah, like half the time your sentences cut out right when you start talking, or it doesn't. It lights up, but no sound comes through on my side.
Huh. That's weird, because I can hear just
Yeah.
fine.
Me too.
Okay, so I hear the issue. You were talking through Roll20, not through Discord. Wonder if you hear him through Roll20. Because yours isn't lighting up when you talk for me. Chat, I can still hear you.
Yeah, go to settings then really quick and look for the I want to broadcast to others and receive from others, and just click nothing.
Talking to me?
No, Snorlax, I think that's where you might be.
Oh yeah, mine's already off.
Yeah.
I have both mine disabled.
Mm-hmm. That might be
Alright.
it. And then just hit reconnect to update it, and it should work. That might help.
Alright. Well, I couldn't hear him through Discord, is my issue.
So are you, because whenever you're talking right now, I don't see it highlight on Discord.
Huh.
It's showing up for me.
Really?
It's talking up for me as well.
That's
Huh.
I can
strange.
only see when the GM and I talk. Nobody else lights up. That's weird.
Yeah, Discord's being weird.
I think
Oh wait,
Discord's
I'm sorry. Reformed.
Discord's probably just being a little shit today.
Hold on. Let me try something.
Wonder if it's his end or our end.
Thinking it's probably
I'm he-
because
I'm hearing
we can all
everything
hear
fine.
stuff.
Yeah, I am too.
But anyways, while he's figuring that out, so bear with your playing flute and Taxis, what are you doing?
I am just leaving Elrin's rooms, and I was gonna head back and spend the day contemplating and meditating.
Alright. Evening begins to hit, and you all have been given certain tasks based upon your collection of payment as a result of your meeting with the Orzhov. So, you all find your night's rest, and you...
Before I actually go like to bed, do I have any kind of maybe like anything like an arrangement or anything set up for easy access to food in this area?
Yes, they would. It would have been set up, yeah.
Okay, then I will do that before I go to bed.
Okay. Second. There's not a lot of people, but still gotta make a perception here.
Can I do stealth if we're doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do a stealth check. They did pretty atrocious, so I think you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. They actually did absolutely terrible.
Okay. Then I will.
I heard him
also
come back in
go
a
to bed.
chat, but I haven't heard him talk.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So did we all end up finding somebody in our room when we go back to it?
Bareth does not, and taxes doesn't.
Okay, so the ones that were specifically called out are the ones that did. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I'll have to just use it through here.
Okay, well, I can hear you now.
Now.
But, alright, you find your night's rest, and you wake up the next morning, and those who wish to go to the Visit League may do so.
Yep.
I gotta know. We downstairs. Is Mogus awake yet?
Mogus is in fact conscious once again. For those of you that didn't think Minotaurs could get hangovers, they most definitely can.
Has to be the right stuff.
Yep.
Wrong stuff, depending on how you look at it.
Alrighty. So, who is going to the Izzet League? Everyone
I
then?
definitely will be meeting up in the room to go there.
This is
Yeah, I suppose I'll go.
Alright. Mogus, is he going as well? I think Discord might have shit out on him again. Let me check something.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
there you go. Okay.
Alright. I don't know, maybe your mic just didn't pick it up for some reason. But,
No, I was on push to talk. I was attempting to fix things.
oh, okay, that's fair. Alright. Yep, you all
Let me try.
begin your way to the Izzet League, and it is very apparent once you start making your way to it, because you can feel heat coming off of various machines within that area. You can smell a little bit of sulfur and various other metals and pieces. You'll hear an explosion every now and again, followed by a string of curses.
As I look around, like, are there any like shops with signage or any signage or anything up?
There's a couple of shops with like little tinkering stations, like tinker shops.
Hmm.
And
are
one
they-
of them.
I think it might just be my headset.
And what, Beth?
Do the shops like have signs in common, just saying what they are, or do they have any unusual writing?
Well, some of them have unusual markings, but I mean, for the most part, it's all in common. And I mean, there are a couple of them that say special prototype wares here may or may not work. Use at your own risk.
So the ones with unusual markings, I'd like to turn to Elrond and see if he is familiar.
Elrond would be somewhat familiar with a little bit of it. It's like an special guild code, much like Thieves' Cant in D&D. It's kind of written their own
Mic
little
feedback
script
off.
to keep their secrets their secrets.
So I'll gesture at one. So that I don't recognize those words. Do you know what that says?
Are you saying this to Elrond, or?
Yes, correct.
Okay. That would be. I mean, I would assume I would. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you know, it.
Can I ask one
It's-
question? I've been here before, where I came from, right?
Yeah, you're primarily you've been here a few times. Primarily, what each one is just saying, as though that cipher is basically their own patent saying, okay, I invented this, you can't have it.
So yeah, yes, I know exactly what all it is.
Okay, like what's that one say?
In not so many words, though it is written out like a freaking essay, but it's basically summarized. That whole thing is just a legal transcript that says, this belongs to me, I made it.
And,
Me,
and is
myself,
that
and I.
roughly what
Does this
you
sound
tell
better at all?
Hmm?
Does this sound better?
Sounds fine.
Okay. I switched to my webcam microphone.
So, around, do you relay what he just said to me?
Elvin?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. So I'll continue on as originally planned.
Yeah, I pretty much tell you like for the most part, I'm gonna know everything, all the signs in here.
So, like, anytime I see a word or two, I'll ask him what it says.
Mm-hmm. You eventually get to a area that seems to be like a commons area, and there is a small gnomish figure that's kind of at the workstation. Yes, there's a few. Wow, there's a lot of different faces here. Why are you all here? Okay, yeah, he's big.
We found that the army that attacked the city a few months ago is residing in a parallel dimension, a shadow dimension of Ravnica, and we were hoping somebody here might know how we might be able to get there or prevent them from coming through, something like that.
Yeah, well, I could. I'm not no expert in that type of thing, but I could probably find you someone who is a bit more practiced in such magical devices or magic. So, I'm sorry, I haven't slept in like 4 days. I've been working off of tons of caffeine, and I'm this white powder that does me wonders. It keeps me up for hours.
I understand. I definitely do some research myself. If you could lead us to somebody that might be more familiar, it would be appreciated.
Yes. Follow me. And he kind of hurriedly moves off to this direction and out of sight for a second, and then he comes back. Wrong way. This way. And he leads you kind of to a bigger hall, and yes, this is where we keep a higher guild members, and he's an older gentleman, but he does have a lot of knowledge about the planar dimensions, as that seems to be his primary function of work. Actually, I think he's the leading expert on it for the most part.
And what is this gentleman's name?
1 second, let me get to it. He's Inventor Corp. He's got a lot of prototypes on planar shifting, none of which have successfully worked on its test subjects. Or maybe they do, and they just come back all contorted.
Well, that's not the best news, but hopefully he'll have some information for us. Thank you.
Science requires progress anyway, and also, I mean, if you could donate any sort of volunteers of sort, that would be helpful. But anyways, through this hole, and you'll find his room further down, and he stops for a second and just has this blank look on his face.
All right, thank
Boy,
you. I think
small
we can
man,
find
stop
it the rest of the
talking.
way.
Yes, good luck. I'm going to go continue my work.
All right. I gestured to Elran. I think you might be the best to speak with this person. He might be more willing to share information with somebody of his.
I agree.
You're pretty familiar with Inventor Corv, but upon entering what would be his workshop, the metal barred-ish door that he has for it is slightly agape, and it looks like it's been slightly indented and forced open.
So,
Going in, you can see that it looks like there was quite the struggle going on. There's a lot of blood across the work table and such. And like a shard of it, maybe a dagger piece or something, is lying on the ground. A couple of torn cloths.
can I determine if this is caused by a machine malfunction or is this by like an actual?
Make an investigation check.
For goodness sake! I don't know.
He's made a lot of machines, so you're not entirely sure. It could be from a machine malfunction, but if it was a machine malfunction, you assume there would be a body nearby.
Can Mogus make an investigation?
Yes, what are you investigating for specifically?
Booze.
See if there's any no, whatever he was making.
Yeah, sure.
There's a flaw.
You are not familiar with the Is It League, really, other than they make loud machines and they tend to explode every now and again.
So I know you said that there was a piece of metal, or did you say it was a piece of a blade?
It looked like potentially a piece of a blade.
All right. And you said there was blood. Does it look like it leads somewhere?
It looks kind of like it leads to the center of the room, but the blood is semi-dry-ish.
All right. I want to look around and see if there's anything damaged that it looks like this piece of blade might have come from.
Alright. You can make a perception check then for that. This workshop is such a mess, it is so hard to determine where it may be coming from. Like, where anything is. Parts don't seem to have any sort of logical order to anything. Machines aren't, like, stacked in any orderly fashion. It's just a chaotic mess.
Are there any not the scraps of cloth that were on the ground, but are there any like relatively clean rags or anything like that?
There's a couple, like at a workstation. I mean, they're semi-clean. They're not super clean. They got like grease or some sort of residue on it.
All right, I'm gonna try and find the cleanest of those that I can, and pick up that piece of blade with it and see if does it look like there's much blood on it. Like, what can I tell from the piece of?
The blade itself looks like it's made from a slightly cheaper metal. Like it was made in a haste, and then as far as additional details to it, you can't make out too much.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of wrap it up in that cloth that I picked up, and tuck it in my pouch for now.
All right. What is everyone else doing?
So this is just kind of hanging out along for the ride, kind of looking around, but not really finding anything that he seems
Okay.
in the blood.
Bogus is debating whether or not to try and touch some stuff.
All right. Okay. So, where in the room do you guys kind of want to be? It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just kind of want to know your position, whether you're in the left, the right, the back, the front, or the middle of it.
Back right.
I
Standing
would
more
probably,
outside the door.
yeah, I would probably be somewhat
Yeah.
like
Oh, no.
somewhat
the
close
door.
to the door, but wherever I needed to be to get the blade and kind of examine that area.
All right.
I kind of haven't moved from around the door area.
All right. So. Yeah, Jamie would be the first to feel this as you're kind of walking around to kind of get a measure of this. You feel a warm drip down the back of your neck.
And who did you say felt that?
Me.
Jamie did.
I could like whip her 180 real quick, and I'm like, "What was that?"
There's no one behind you.
What was what?
Something either just touched or landed on my neck.
I look up above Jamie.
You find Inventor Corv's mutilated body that is basically half merged in with the stone and metal here, and his entire being seems to have kind of exploded outwards a little bit.
So I turn to Elrond. Does this look like he might have run afoul of his experiment?
You know him well enough that that is definitely not him. He's a risk taker, but he doesn't take risks without certain precautions.
We may and love dangerous stuff, but this is not.
All right, I'm gonna look. Is there any other exits from here? Oh, you said the blood was kind of dried.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you said that there is there any other exits from?
There is an overlooking window from the area, but it appears to be closed.
Can I not do an Arcana check to see if I can sense it was magic that caused that?
You could do an Arcana if you wish.
I'm just gonna not roll. It's fine.
I'm going to, as we're kind of looking around, I'm going to start to cast Detect Magic as a ritual because I'm pretty sure I can.
Yes, yes, you can. Um, you can detect a faint magical presence here. It's old. It certainly isn't still here, but there was magic used within this room.
All right. Well, that's not horribly surprising, but there was magic used here. Does it seem like focused, like around him or around anything in particular?
It seems pretty focused around him.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sensing some magic residue around his body. I'd like to. What color did you say the scraps of cloth were?
They were like a dark black color.
Okay. Are they the same as the color that he is wearing?
No, they are not. He's
Okay.
wearing actually what would have been very colorful, like gold and gold and yellowish red colors.
All right. Then I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
What was that?
Whoever was saying something. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I check to see if it looks similar to the outfits of the soldiers we fought 18 months ago?
Yeah, you can see if it is.
That'd be a roll of.
Compare. That would be another history check because you're trying to remember if they're the same.
Ooh. Okay.
They are not the same.
Okay. Are they similar?
They look similar-ish. You think you might have seen them before somewhere, but you're not entirely sure where.
That looks familiar.
All right. I'm gonna use my mage hand to carefully pick up the cloth and put it into another as clean as I can find rag and wrap it up and put it in my pouch.
Okay.
Are there any books of research notes? I know you said it was a mess, but was there any area that sort of has some organization of note?
It's less an organization and rather just this desk filled with papers, and they're not even numerically organized at all. There appears to be no chronological or alphabetical or numerical ordering system. It's just there.
If I scan through, are they mostly in the Is it language?
Yeah, mostly.
Hey, Elrond, do any of these, if you look like they might be helpful for what we're trying to find?
Quite possibly.
Looking at it, you can read it, but it is complete and utter gibberish.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
At least I can tell you, sure.
All right. I'll take. I mean, if there's nothing noticeable, I'll take a stack of them, just a random pile, and tuck it in my bag.
All right.
Anybody else have anything they want to do?
I don't think so. Not right now.
Really?
All right. Then I think. Now, did you say this was kind of in a building on its own? I know you said there was down a hallway.
It's kind of its own building.
All right. I want to try and, I guess, go back to the guy that brought us here, or if there's another closer group or something. Try and find somebody that might have any clue what's going on.
As you head back, you do find the gnome that brought you here, but he is currently hugging whatever invention he is made, and he's passed the fuck out. He's out like a light, but there is a few other members kind of like lightly nudging him to see if he'll wake up, and he's just
Sorry.
he'll make a motion, but really no motion to get up.
So in this district, are there much in the way of like guards or anything like that?
There are guards. There are a few based inventions called sentries, and they basically are machines that act as guards and keep watch over this area.
All right. I'm not sure what the best way to go from here is. Does anybody have any idea?
Nothing.
We can go get the little goblin again.
No.
What little goblin? You mean the gnome that we just were told was unconscious?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's unconscious, passed out from the
White powder.
massive use of caffeinated drinks, items, and what may or may not have been cocaine. But
Probably something different.
What I was gonna say was, is there anyone in town that is as well like a much as a dark elf as myself that might understand what happened?
kind of an oddity, but there are a couple not within this area that might understand. From your understanding, there are two groups that might have an idea of what kind of hellfire ensued in that room. One you've already dealt with, and the other is located in the Undercity.
So do you relay that information?
Yes, I do.
All right, and this group that's in the Undercity, is it just another part of the Izzik?
No, the potential magic or thing that was used, like I said, there are two guilds that would have knowledge of it, or at least an idea of what it is. That being the Syndicate, or, if you can find them in the Undercity, the Golgari.
All right. Well, how do we get there? Because we got to get this figured out. I'm asking Elrond.
Do I know?
The Undercity is a maze in itself. There is a high risk of getting lost.
Do I know anyone that has been there before?
Not to. Make a history check.
I may know someone.
You know. Let's see. Where are they at? You know a tinkering explorer named Maya Kovan who has been to the Undercity, or at least a very small starting portion of it. She hasn't really encountered anybody down there, but she has an idea of how to at least navigate the start of it.
So I kind of pass that information along to Barra, and I say, I may know.
All right. Well, I think that sounds like our best kind of next step from here. Unless somebody has a better idea.
At this time, I think right now we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then I suggest we seek out this explorer.
Alright. This explorer is someone that you kind of have seen every now and again in the Coalition Hall. But we will get to that and the next episode of this arc next week. So I'm going to end tonight's session right here with you to chew on. You guys doing some crazy and some real stupid shit too.
We're not going to worry about the establishment part.
This. No. You guys have picked a episode 0 and into episode 1, and you already kind of indebted yourself to the Syndicate.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about that, but I didn't know, couldn't think of a better option.
Amazingly enough, only one of you would have had to accept the favor.
That doesn't surprise me with the wording. I didn't think about it, but now that you mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Orzov for you. Prayers of the guilds.
I definitely wanted to make that Syndicate encounter as fucking uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Well, you managed to do it.
Because now we have a beginning